Alright, this is going to be the Hawkeye build guide update for the Hawkeye build guide. And shout out to Gotcha, he asked me if I could update the Hawkeye build. As you may know, the cheese perks got patched, and for most classes that doesn't really change them. You still run the exact same gear, it's just you lose tiny little passive perks, Warrior's Fury lasts a couple seconds longer, etc, etc. It's usually small stuff that doesn't even really matter for most classes. But for Hawkeye specifically, and really only Hawkeye, it does fundamentally change how you can build them. So let's go over that. The melee piece, still exact same thing. You just want a piece with rampant assistance, which, as you may know, gives 210 per all. You get an extra 210 heroic charge rate while you're overcharged, which is insanely good. This is the piece you want. Ideally, you want warm split shot arrows, but cold split shot status would be fine as well. And ideally, of course, gold with triple good stats, but you take what you can get, of course. This specific piece you can buy from the Utah vendor every week. They sold it. I don't remember which day it is, but if you want this exact piece, which is not perfect, but it's more than good enough, you just buy it. Super easy to get, which is awesome. Also worth noting, you can theoretically get Vibranium Split Shot from either the Vault or Villain sector with rampant assistance, but the odds of getting that are really, really low. As you can see, 1 in 21. If you get a rampant assistance, you'll get Vibranium Split Shot. So yeah, good luck getting that. I recommend don't waste your life trying to get this perfect Vibranium 2.1. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's not. Okay. Another piece you might want to have for Klaw DPS, this would be perfect stats, perfect perks you can get from the Raid, Elite Raid, or Vibranium event. The reason you want this is the Vibranium Split Shot, and it's only for the DPS phase of Klaw, not the stun phase, just the DPS phase. You could switch out before the fight or during the fight after you do the stun and your teammates head into the back room. But for the most part, this is the piece you want. And it's worth having something like this in your inventory as well. Range piece. It stays the same. This is the perfect range piece. Perfect stats, perfect perks. Doesn't get better than this. How do we get it? Tachyon Anomaly event. Saves come for it. Realistically, it's going to take hours. And here's the stat pool. You want Valor, Precision. Ideally, Valor, Precision, Intensity, but Valor, Precision, or Valor, Precision Might. You'll take it with a Targeted Spark. What you really need is a Targeted Spark on it. And the Tachyon Surge is, of course, insane. 50% damage for other statuses is really, really good. Your ultimate can still trigger the Targeted Sparks, which is awesome. Your ult triggers itself, which is great. The middle perk doesn't really matter. And do note, you don't need this piece. Like, yeah, if you want the best possible piece, you're going to have to grind hours for it. But if you want a more realistic, easy to get piece that's still more than good enough for elite raids, all you need is a piece with Targeted Spark and decent stats. And the best bottom perk would be Lethal Targeted Buff if you're going for just an RNG piece. But again, you want the perfect piece, this is the perfect piece right here. Chest piece. You just want a piece with good stats and reactive buff. This is amazing, and especially in the OLT. But yeah, that's it. Note, for the Klaw DPS, you're going to want a split shot multiplier because you're going to be relying on your ranged attacks a lot, as opposed to your heroics, because they do Vibranium. And you can get the Operatives Kit, which is easy to get. You can get it from priority threat sectors, and if you do the Rushko Protocol event, you're guaranteed to get it. So this piece, quite easy to get, very easy to get. Also, an even higher DPS piece for ranged would be this. You can only get it from the Elite Raid. Normal Raid doesn't drop it, and it's specifically the Split Shot Multiplier you can get from the Elite Raid. And you get a Vibranium Breaker and Valor Precision. This actual piece is just a Thor piece where I just pasted the Split Shot Multiplier over it. But you can get this exact piece with exact stats, exact perks. Just, it'll be called Discordant Armor Elite instead of Battle Plate. Same thing though. This piece you could use sort of for the heroic build or the Klaw DPS build, but it's going to be hard to get. You can only get it from the Elite Raid, but don't worry about it. You're running the Elite Raid, you're not farming to get it, so. Alright, this is the real change of the build. Instead of using this piece, you use this piece. No, instead of using the Operatives Kit, you use this piece. This is the perfect piece. Precision Valor Resolve is the perfect stat pool. Berserker buff is really the bottom perk you want to get. The thing that makes this piece so important is the Hunter's Overcharge, instantly overcharging you for your heroics. And the rampant boon is really, really strong. I mean, 25% crit chance while you're overcharged, which should be 24/7% of the time. 24/7, just 100% of the time, you get a 25% crit chance increase, which is really, really strong. And Berserker buff is great. I mean, 65% damage, 10% crit chance with the Relic. I shouldn't have to tell you that Berserker buff is insane. But again, you don't need this perfect piece. You'll take anything with a Berserker buff, but also you can just use an exotic piece if it has Valor Precision or Valor Precision Resolve. This is good enough. Although, if you want to keep farming vaults to get the perfect piece, go for it. This is not the hardest piece of gear in the game to get, but it'll take a bit of time to get this piece. Also, the Operatives Kit. This is what you use for the old build. It's still good. The problem with it is you have to manually overcharge yourself instead of just firing the ult, but you can do that in, for example, the Klaw phase. It's very easy to get. Also, if your teammates drop intrinsic orbs or they overcharge you, you can still just use this piece, and it's awesome. And you get it from Priority Threat Sector or Rushka Protocol event. That's the better way to get it. You're guaranteed to get it from the Protocol event. And you need the exotic version for the 300% heroic charge rate bottom perk. Alright, relics. You want 2 Valor relics. This exact relic has perfect stats and the perfect perk, the powerful boon. Every Thursday you can buy it. Easy to get. Just buy 2 of them. Honestly, you want 2 of them for every guy that can buy them. Precision relic. For specifically the Klaw DPS phase, you're going to use 1 of these and 1 of these if you want. It has a powerful breaker, which is really good. And they sell it every Saturday. Same thing as this, just buy 2 of these for all you guys. I mean, it's like a perfect relic that the vendor just sells, so buy it, you know. Alright, here's the build. The heroic charge rate, targeted Spark Tachyon Surge, reactive damage buff with perfect stats, and the perfect Hawk's Bow from the vault, and 2 Valor relics. This is the build you're going to be running. And specifically for Klaw DPS, this is, again, not the stun phase, just the DPS where you go for his health. You can switch to this if you want to. You can still run this loadout. It still hits really hard, but if you want to just do maximum DPS with Hawkeye, you can run this loadout. The reason that this loadout is specifically good against Klaw is because he has heavy resistance to non-vibranium attacks. So the split shot arrows, you're going to be using those, and you're going to swap out 1 Valor relic for 1 Precision relic, so you're using 1 and 1, and you're going to swap out your chest piece to make sure you have the split shot multiplier. You can, if you have this piece, you could use it for either build, right? It's really good. And same, you're going to use the same bow, same 4-piece, and you're going to use something with split shot arrows. If you had this piece with a Vibranium split shot arrow, I told you the one that was almost impossible to get, you can just run this always, and you can run this always, and then you would just swap out one of these relics if you want. But again, you don't have to do this. This build is useful. This is the build you want for, you know, all of the other content except specifically DPS and Klaw. This is basically like the perfect Hawkeye build right here. Alright, exotic relics. Northern Lethal Will, that 10% crit chance is the reason it's going to be the best relic here. Also has the best activated ability. You're going to use that probably. If you find you don't get damage buffs often, you can run the Ring or the Tactagon. I think the Ring is just a better relic than the Tactagon. I think the Tactagon's fairly weak, but these are option 2 and 3 in terms of exotic relics, right? None of the other relics are even worth considering. They're garbage, basically. Except Darkhold, it's okay, but Tactagon and Ring are better. Alright, champion points, same as they are for everyone else. Stat priority, same as everyone else. You're going to obviously put more precision. It's sort of like precision's more of like a 1B. It's better than resolve and proficiency. You know, you want one of these at least. 1 resolve, 1 proficiency. Stack valor. Resilience, you don't really want it, but you'll take it. Trash is garbage. You want 1 piece of intensity. 2 or 3, you don't want that. Overall, Hawkeye's just as good as he always been. This nerf, honestly, is pretty small. And how has Hawkeye changed? His heroics charge slower, so it'll take 2 targeted sparks to restore all your heroics instead of 1. Your health puddle won't be up 24/7, although it's still going to be up often. Your damage bonuses, though, this build has more damage bonuses. That crit chance from the 4-piece, 25%, up 24/7, is really strong, obviously, and Berserker buff. I mean, it's damage buff. It's insane. We all know how good that is. This is still the best Hawkeye build to build overall. This right here is how I would build Hawkeye, and you could switch to this specifically for the DPS phase of the Klaw. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole build. If you want specifics on how to play it and stuff like that, watch the old build. It goes all over all of that stuff.